The purpose of this session is to prepare you for an interpretation of your values report with a certified assessment consultant. Let me begin by asking you a question. What do you think would happen if a minister, a stockbroker, and an artist swapped jobs? Sounds like the setup for a good joke, but it's a valuable and interesting question to ask. What inspires a minister to deliver a sermon every week is quite different than what gets a stockbroker excited to buy and sell stocks every day, which is also different from what drives an artist to paint or sculpt. Each of these three individuals finds inherent value in the work that they do. They are all connected to their jobs. Something in each job resonates within them. In short, they value what the job rewards. We call that alignment. There's alignment between what the individual values or is motivated by and what the job rewards. Therefore, the person is a good fit for the job. Typically, performance, job satisfaction, and retention are high when there's alignment between what a person values and what their job rewards. If the minister, the stockbroker, and the artist swap jobs, their performance and job satisfaction would likely go down quickly. The minister doesn't want to buy and sell stocks. The stockbroker doesn't want to paint, and the artist doesn't want to preach. If they find no inherent value in what they do, they are simply not motivated by what the job rewards. They now have what we call a motivation or values conflict. Performance, job satisfaction, and retention go down and turnover goes up. Keep those ideas in mind as we examine the values graph. Please turn to this page in your assessment report. It looks like this. At the top of the graph, you'll see abbreviations for the 7 values or motivators that we measure in this report. We'll go through each of these in just a minute. The black horizontal lines represent the national mean score of everyone who has taken this profile. Sales, non-sales, management, and non-management from all walks of life across the general population. At the bottom of the graph is your numerical score. Your score is represented by the colored bar in relation to the national mean score. A high score doesn't automatically mean that it's a good score, and a low score isn't bad. We simply want to find out what you value and if that connects with the job you're in. Remember, this is a neutral instrument, not a test. That means there are no right or wrong answers. The scores and rankings of the minister, the stockbroker, and the artist would be very, very different. This assessment describes what you value most. The gray boxes around the mean score represent one standard deviation from the national mean score, above and below. This area represents where most of the population clusters. Please note that this video is not designed to interpret your assessment results. This is to prepare you for an interpretation session with a certified assessment consultant. Therefore, to get a better sense of what we measure in preparation for your session, I will provide general characteristics for each value. The first motivator is aesthetic. This is the drive and desire for beauty and harmony. This can be experienced through art, music, nature, travel, design, and fashion. This measures how much or how little you're affected by the aesthetics of your environment. People with high scores enjoy highly aesthetic roles, such as graphic designers, florists, architects, interior designers, park rangers, and travel agents. People with low scores have less drive for such aesthetic pursuits, but that doesn't mean that they don't appreciate beauty or nature. It means they simply find more value in other things. The next motivator on the graph is economic, which describes your drive or desire for financial gain, making money. This is not about greed. Greed is an ethics problem. This indicates the level of interest, energy, and effort that you'll invest into making money. People with high scores typically engage in jobs like financial services, commissioned sales, and entrepreneurship, with a variable pay plan based on performance. People with lower scores typically prefer a salary position with less variable pay. The next motivator is individualistic. This is your drive to stand out as independent, unique, and standing apart from the crowd. This is the drive to be socially independent and have opportunity for freedom of personal expression. People with a high score here may prefer a job in creative services, product development, or just work independently. People with lower scores prefer to be a member of a team, do not have as much desire for the spotlight, and generally like to work behind the scenes. The next motivator is political. This has to do with power and control. This measures your desire for being in charge and in control of the situation or other people. This measures the amount of autonomy, latitude, and freedom of movement you desire in your job. People with high political scores may prefer to pursue management roles and responsibilities. People with lower scores may not have a desire to be in charge of others, although they may still want to have freedom of movement in their particular role. The next motivator is altruistic. This means giving of yourself to others, even to your own detriment. This describes your level of empathy and/or sympathy. Empathy means feeling other people's problems or pain, while sympathy means acknowledging and appreciating someone else's problems or pain. This measures your level of desire for giving or helping others. People with high scores may enjoy investing their time in civic activities, charities, and giving back to help the less fortunate. People with lower scores may have a more case-by-case basis for helping others. The next motivator is regulatory. This describes how much you desire rules, policies, and procedures. It's about your craving for order, traditions, regulations, and principles for living. People with high scores may have a desire for a clearly defined structure on how they live their lives. People with low scores may want to set the rules for their own life instead of adopting those of others or a defined system of belief. The last column on the values graph is theoretical. This is the drive or desire for knowledge and learning. This is not a score of intelligence. It's a measurement of your drive and desire for learning and acquiring information. People with high scores typically enjoy research and learning for the sake of learning, across a broad spectrum of topics such as a college professor or researcher. People with low scores typically represent people who have a very narrow or specific area of interest. Regardless of what combination of factors motivates you the most, remember, there's no right or wrong. It's all about fit with the job. Now that you know the 7 core motivators from this report, you are ready to receive an interpretation session from a certified assessment consultant.